Hello folks, this is 2014 May-June paper 1 question number 33. It belongs to the Cambridge pre-university certificate. This question is concerned with the topic of superposition, and it is concerned with diffraction. It says that the diagram shows a source of white light. The light is incident on a diffraction grating. This is the diffraction grating. Which diagram represents the spectrum observed when the viewing telescope is moved from the position shown and the direction shown? So it means that the telescope is shifted from here somewhat like this, and we have to state which is the correct order of the spectrum. The first thing is that when the source is white light, the central fringe shows all the components focusing on at 0 degree angle. All the components focusing on the 0 angle, because it's the formula says d sine theta is equal to n lambda, and so when n is equal to 0, then our theta should also be equal to 0. So the central fringe will be white. Then after the first order, for the first order we will have d sine theta is equal to 1 lambda equal to simply lambda, which means that this is sine theta is equal to lambda by d, or we can say theta is equal to sine inverse lambda by d. Now for the first order, the angle depends on the wavelength. So among the wavelength of lambda of red is more than lambda of violet. So that means red will be at a larger angle than violet. For the first order, red will be at a larger angle than the violet. So that means choice number 8 disqualifies, because it shows that red has small angle, V has a more angle, so this disqualifies. Again we have this also thing disqualifies, because it shows red small angle and violet at large angle. Now in the second case we will have d sine theta is equal to 2 lambda, which means theta will be equal to sine inverse 2 lambda by d. So now let us say this is theta 1 and this is let us say this is theta 2. Now we have to show let us realize that red will still be forming larger angle. So this red has got a larger angle than V. This red has got a larger angle than V. The only thing we have to identify is the gap between violet and red. So in the first order the gap is less, in the second order gap is more, in the first order gap is more, and in the second order gap is less. So we have to identify which will form the larger gap. So whether in the second fringe it will be second order, it will be larger gap or smaller gap. So this requires that, let us say, if I say this quantity is lambda by d is equal, let us say 0.27. So this thing will give us theta 1 is equal to, I have given a certain arbitrary value here. So if it is 0.27, then it will give me theta 1 is equal to 0.27, shift sine inverse. Theta 1 is equal to 15.66 degree. If so, then this 2 lambda by d here will be equal to 0.54, and theta 2 will be equal to 0.54, shift sine inverse. It becomes a 32.68. So this gives the gap as theta 1 is equal to minus 15.66 equal to, it is 17.02. So the gap should be more. In the second order, the gap should be more than the first order. So that means in choice number B, the gap between V and R in the second order is more. Choice number D, this gap is less. So B should be the correct answer, and D should be the incorrect choice.